Today I will be discussing the MRC's proposed 2019 budget. This is the MRC's fifth budget submittal, and the program has been operating since the very end of 2015. The act requires the mattress recycling organization, or in this case the MRC, to submit its annual report and annual budget separately, but it is the combination of these documents that provide a complete representation of how the funds from the mattress recycling charge are being allocated and used to successfully implement the program. The annual budgets and annual reports describe what was anticipated to be spent for specific programmatic activities via the annual budgets, what was actually spent via the independently audited financial statements, which are contained in the annual reports and described in the annual budgets, and together with adequate descriptions provided by the MRC within these documents, they provide transparency into what is working well in the program, what can be improved upon, where efforts and financial resources should be focused from one year to the next. Statute and regulations require the mattress recycling organization to submit a proposed budget for the following calendar year to Calrecycle by July 1st annually. The budget must include the anticipated revenues and costs for implementing the program, a recommended funding level sufficient to cover the plan's budgeted costs, and identify the mattress recycling charge with an itemization of what the charge covers. Additionally, for budgets submitted on or by July 1, 2017 and each year thereafter, all expenses incurred over the previous 2 years shall be included. The Mattress Recycling Council submitted the proposed 2019 budget on July 2nd, 2018, with a revised budget submitted on July 9th to include a missing citation, and a second revised budget submitted on September 5th, 2018, which included more details in the executive summary, anticipated revenues and expenses, a recommended funding level, the amount of the charge, and additional line items for the actual expenses incurred in 2016 and 2017. Staff appreciate the MRC's responsiveness to requests for additional detail in previous budget RFAs and in coordination meetings. The MRC's primary source of revenue is from the mattress recycling charge collected on each unit sold. To calculate anticipated revenues, the MRC considered its first quarter 2018 California actual sales and adjusted by using the national industry trends for an anticipated revenue of $44.2 million. Overall, the MRC proposes to increase spending in all cost categories over amounts in its approved 2018 budget. The estimated total expenses are $44.5 million. A few examples of why the MRC stated it is proposing increases in all cost categories because of anticipated increase in wages, energy costs, the number of units collected, and to accommodate inflation. This slide provides a breakdown of the MRC's expenses by major cost categories. The two bars on the left are actuals from 2016 and 2017, followed by the approved 2018, and the far right bar is the projected 2019 expenses. This chart shows considerable increases in 2019 projected expenses compared to the previous years. In particular, the MRC is projecting significant increased expenditures for collection, transportation and recycling, and research, which staff consider reasonable and appropriate. In both 2016 and 2017, the MRC did not spend the allocated amounts in some cost categories. Staff recognize that actual amounts spent will not always align with projected expenses, but explanations as to why it did not spend what it anticipated helps to inform appropriate expenditures moving forward. Similar to the slide I just showed, 2016 and 2017 are actuals, while 2018 and 2019 are projections. And also, like the last slide, you'll see that projected expenses for 2018 and 2019 are significantly higher than what the program actually spent in 2016 and 2017. Calrecycle requested in its 2018 budget RFA that the MRC provide a cost breakdown for each anticipated research task or activity and the actual research expenses from the previous year. In the 2019 budget, the MRC listed 6 research projects it has planned for 2019, which are listed on the slide. And they included a cost breakdown for each, totaling $949,500. In addition, the MRC included a line item for actual expenses related to research for 2016, which was $22,000, and 2017, which was $54,000. As the first two years of program rollout are now complete, staff are encouraged to see an increase in spending and available funds for research and development in order to support the program. In staff's opinion, the funds allocated to research and development are reasonable if they are actually spent on the projects described and that project findings are used to improve the program. The MRC stated it intends to build a financial reserve equal to 12 months of operating expenses, which is an increase from its 2018 budgeted reserve target of 9 to 12 months. The MRC states it is necessary to address things like unforeseen circumstances or to fund short-term budget deficits. At the end of 2016, the MRC's reserve was $22.7 million, and by the end of 2017, the reserve nearly doubled, bringing it to $42.3 million. In 2019, the MRC estimates that $262,000 of the reserve funds will be used in order to supplement sales revenue in order to cover its 2019 expenses. The MRC also anticipates that an additional net deficit of $300,000 will be funded by the reserve in 2020. Staff determined that there will be sufficient funds to fully implement the MRC's program, and consideration of changes to the mattress recycling charge is not warranted to address the projected gap between projected expenditures and revenues for 2018 and 2020 at this time. Staff will continue to monitor the reserve closely to assess if it is moving toward a reasonable level or if budget adjustments are warranted. The advisory committee submitted a letter stating that it recognizes the value of the MRC's participation in its meetings, as well as the quarterly coordination meetings between representatives from the advisory committee, the Mattress Recycling Council, and the department. However, the advisory committee expressed concern that additional MRC staff may be needed for the California program. As stated in the RFA, it is staff's opinion that an additional California program management position is warranted to fully implement a successful program. In addition, the advisory committee supports increased research and development funding, but questions if the increase is sufficient when 40% of all material collected in 2017 was not recycled or reused. It is staff's opinion that the funds allocated to research and development are reasonable, granted that they are actually spent on the projects described and that the projects are well developed and the findings are carefully analyzed so as to result in activities that will improve the program. In addition to the comments submitted by the advisory committee, we also received a letter from Del Norte County with a number of programmatic concerns, in particular stating that the reimbursement rates offered by the MRC were too low to enable its solid waste facility to participate in the program. Staff views solid waste facility participation as part of program convenience. This topic is addressed in the 2017 annual report RFA and is one of the conditions for approval that the MRC is to address program convenience. Again, we just want to thank stakeholders for taking the time to provide comments to us and feedback. It's very helpful during our review process. In conclusion, staff recommend the director approve the MRC's 2019 proposed budget. A detailed analysis in staff's RFA can be found on the public notice linked on the slide. Do we have any questions?
Thanks, Nikki. Any comments from stakeholders? Mike, do you want to make any comments? Yeah, please come on up. I think the podium right there in the middle will probably work.
Not sure. There we go. Mattress Recycling Council. You know what? I can hear you, but I don't think the webcast can. Sorry, my error.
Step over here. Good morning. My name is Mike O'Donnell, Managing Director for the Mattress Recycling Council. I'm here in support of Calrecycle staff recommendation to approve MRC's 2019 budget. Our Bye Bye Mattress program has been operational for more than 2 years. We're making positive impact on California's environment by recycling materials that would have otherwise been landfilled. So far, we have recycled more than 2.5 million mattresses and diverted more than 70 million pounds of material from California landfills. We plan to surpass the 3 million mattress milestone before the end of the year. We are pleased with our progress, but have the potential to do even more. We are increasing our recycling capacity and are scaling our outreach so that more retailers and more consumers can take advantage of the program. This progress would not be possible without the partnership we have with Calrecycle. The strong relationship has played a critical role in our success. We appreciate Calrecycle's support for a 2019 budget that allows MRC to build a financially sustainable and prudent program to protect California's environment. Thank you for the opportunity to provide comments today.
Thanks, Mike. Anyone else wish to comment? Kelly?
Hi, good morning. Kelly McBee with the environmental nonprofit group Californians Against Waste. We are in support of this budget as it includes increased funding in every spending category, especially the research and development. I also serve as the vice chair of the advisory committee, and I wanted to thank the MRC for the incorporation of one of the advisory committee's recommendations to hire an additional California staff person. We're really excited to work with whomever they bring on board. Also, I think that the advisory committee would be supportive of Calrecycle's recommendation that the MRC consider hiring an additional California program management position as well. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kelly.
Can somebody tell me, I'm just interested in that, where we are in that process of bringing another individual on board in the council or your organization? Oh, great. Thanks. That's great.
For the webcast, Mike O'Donnell said that they interviewed Thursday.
Good morning. I come to you as the new executive director of California Product Stewardship Council. My name is Doug Kobold, serving in that new capacity, and I just have a couple of brief comments. We like to support Calrecycle, our staff's recommendation to approve the budget. We have a couple of comments we'd like to add to that. One is that while we're appreciative that MRC is adding another staff person, great to hear that that's moving forward, we also concur that we need more staff, and primarily because of the fact that retailers are not adequately acknowledging that they have a responsibility to pick up mattresses when they deliver. So we're still seeing that not being promoted as much as it should be. And then also that the public ed could be more increased for the benefit of the public to know that the retailers must do that. They must offer that. That will help to close the gap on what's being collected and what's still being illegally dumped or disposed of. Thank you.
Thanks, Doug, and congratulations on your new position. Okay, I don't think there's any other comments, so Scott, you have our recommendation to approve the budget. Thank you for considering that. Okay. So I'll move on to the second item. I'll take care of this one. This is also related to the mattress program. It's regarding an appointment to the advisory committee, which statute requires the director to do. We did appoint 13 advisory committee members about 4.5 years ago, and have filled a couple of vacancies since then. Most recently, we had a vacancy in the solid waste category just in the last few months. In August, we solicited applications and we received one, and we are recommending that that individual be appointed to the advisory committee. He is Christopher Gibson, who's the environmental manager with Recology. He's got extensive experience in the solid waste industry, and so our recommendation to you, Scott, is to approve that person to approve Christopher Gibson as a new member of the AC.
Thanks, Howard. On both those previous items, I'm in concurrence with the staff recommendation.
Okay, thank you. Our third item in this category, excuse me, has to do with paid stewardship programs, administrative fees, and I'll ask Stephanie Edwards to come up and give a short